So let's talk about debt and being an entrepreneur, being a small business owner, and can you actually run a small business without ever taking out debt? Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica with Memory Box Candle Co. and I make videos all about the journey of starting a candle business. In today's video, I wanted to talk about this topic because I think it's really important to talk about when it comes to starting a business, being an entrepreneur, and there are so many different things that are out there that are going to pull you in and advise you or try to persuade you to take out debt for your small business. This is, of course, 100% your decision. I personally have not taken out any debt for any of my businesses. Everything has been cash flowed, saved up money, purchase things in full, whatever it is. And I understand the consequences of not utilizing any kind of debt. And I also understand the consequences of utilizing debt. So in my personal opinion, I do understand that I probably could be growing at a faster rate if I took out, let's say, a small business loan to have more capital, to be able to grow faster, get more products, be able to expand and scale a little bit quicker and faster. But man, do I just really dislike the thought of having to pay somebody back, of having to borrow money, and then the only reason why I'm trying to just work and grow and make more money is to be able to just pay that off. And then it adds more stress. And there's already so much stress when it comes to business. I don't need that additional stressor of then having to pay somebody back. This is just my personal opinion. And Chris and I have actually, we were on a debt-free journey for a few years. Back in 2018, we found out about Dave Ramsey, of course, as a lot of people have. I know, if you know, he hates debt. And so we learned a lot. And at the time, we had 2 car loans. We had 2 car loans, a motorcycle loan, and a credit card. And so we just did from smallest to largest, started paying everything off. And then I want to say it was a few years ago, we became completely 100% debt free. And we're actually looking to get another car and just pay cash for it, for just an older used car. And we've never paid cash for a car before. So it's kind of exciting thinking about that. We've been taking our time, saving our money up. I don't know, I just think that there's different decisions that you make when it's actually your money that you're putting out, money that you've been saving up and putting specifically towards a certain purpose, other than signing up and then all of a sudden you have $10,000 to do, whatever you want with. I feel like there's different decisions that you make. And then again, there's not that stress to have to pay that money back. Now this is just coming from me as somebody who doesn't want to take out any more debt. I know that a lot of people utilize debt in business to really advance their business, but I just don't think that it's worth it, especially if you're just getting started. I do not recommend just opening up a credit card or whatever and just putting a bunch of supplies on there and everything on a credit card. As hard as it can be, and trust me, I know I saved up a lot of money in the beginning. I was working a part-time job and I did eBay on the side, and I used my eBay money that I made to start funding the candle business. And then when I launched my candle business, I utilized that money to then reinvest back into the business. And it's been a slow growing process. That's just my personal experience with all of it, and that's what I chose to do. I never even thought to take out any debt for the business, but it sure just makes everything so much nicer that when I look at my numbers and I'm looking at, if I'm being profitable, whatever it is, that these are the real numbers. It's not like you're making profit, but then you have to subtract what then you owe for your debt. So I just really hope that this helps to motivate and inspire you that you can start a business without any debt, especially something like a candle business. Yes, it does cost, a few $1,000s in supplies and all that stuff to get going. I made a video in the past talking about how much it actually costs you to get started with your candle business. So it can cost a few $1,000s, but in the overall arching, like in the overall grand scheme of everything, it's not that much money compared to other businesses where, like, if you're starting a franchise or something like that and everybody, takes out debt in order to start these bigger businesses. When you're getting started with something small, it's really motivating to say, hey, I have $100 or $200 or whatever it is. What can I turn this into? That's such like an inspiration to ask yourself of like, what can I actually turn this into? What can I do with this? What are the small steps that I can take in order to get where I want to go? And that's, again, just how I view everything when it comes to business, as somebody who just does not want to have to ever take out debt unless it's a house later on down the line. That's probably the only thing that we'll take out debt for in the future. But just trying our best to, not take out any debt in personal or in business. And that just causes me the least amount of stress, knowing that, yes, I'm going to grow at a slower pace, but I'm accepting of that if it means that I don't have to borrow money in order to do this rapid growth. I know this topic is really controversial. I know there's a lot of people that get started with a credit card or whatever it is with business. And if you know that you're somebody who is like, I'm 100% certain that I'm going to make this money back in X amount of time and I'm going to pay it back, then you trust you and yourself and you know what you can do. But just know that there are very much other ways of getting started that don't involve taking out debt in order to grow your business. And you're able to start small and really see where you can take it from a smaller amount. And you learn a lot too. You learn, okay, so if I have $200 to put towards supplies and whatever it is that I'm putting it towards, and then I need to sell those candles to make money back to then reinvest and make more candles to then sell those candles. And it really gets you in the seller's and entrepreneurial mindset of, how do I make this first sale? What do I need to do in order to make this sale? And is this business going to be feasible enough for me to make the sale? So instead of spending all this money on like a web developer, all this fancy website stuff, all this crazy like custom boxes, like you don't need any of that in the beginning. You just need to know that you are able to actually sell a product. And if you're able to sell a product, then that will let you know if this business is actually going to be something that's going to make you money versus borrowing $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 in order to put towards supplies and a website and all that kind of stuff, and then realize that you don't know how to go about actually selling your product. Then you can kind of be in big trouble because you've already spent all of this money that you borrowed. And today's candle comment of the day comes from Home by Amanda. And the question is, what is the best way to grow Instagram followers? Do you recommend a company on helping to grow followers? I don't recommend a company on helping to grow followers, mainly because I feel like a lot of companies that claim that you're going to get organic followers, it's really just bots or, I don't know, some weird thing that they do to make it look like you have more followers. What you really need is authentic, engaged followers that actually care about your content. And the only way that you're able to get those followers is by creating content that's going to engage your ideal audience and your ideal customers for your product. So that's creating reels, making posts, making Instagram stories, and really being able to showcase and storytell your brand story so that you're able to bring in the kind of audience that's going to want to follow you and want to know more and want to hear more about your products and your brand. And this could mean, instead of like hiring a company that's going to help you build your Instagram following, it could be hiring a photographer or a videographer and helping you with what you actually post online and helping you with hashtags, relevant hashtags that are going to gain your specific ideal audience to be followers of your Instagram account. And that's more of something that I would recommend, is just being more consistent with the content that you post that would make people actually want want to follow you as an actual real organic follower. But with that, I am going to end today's video right here. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave it a big thumbs up as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at MemoryBoxCandleCo, and I will see you in my next video.